Hey folks, this is Jess from Cook Smart, and today I'm going to teach you how to properly prep cauliflower or broccoli. I know a lot of folks have been buying this for a long time and just don't really know the proper way to kind of just, chop it all up. It's pretty simple. You can clearly buy it pre-chopped, but it's a little bit more expensive, so easier just to do it at home. Alright, so what we do when we bring this head of cauliflower back is a lot of times it'll have these kind of stalks on, these stems or stalks on them. They're pretty easy to remove. Some of them you can just rip off like that. If you have any trouble ripping some of them off, like this one right here, you can just use your knife and just kind of cut it off. Okay, so you just want to go through the head of the cauliflower, ripping off the stalks. And what you can do with the stalks is you can keep them for vegetable stock. You don't have to throw them out, and you also don't have to cook with them, but they're really great at making stock. So I've got this kind of head, this stem left here. I'm going to just go ahead and chop it off, just kind of break it off. So I've just removed this piece of it with my knife. And I've still got a little bit of these stalks left, so I'm just got these stems and stalks left, so I'm just going to go ahead and keep on snapping them off. So we're left with just the head of the cauliflower. Most of the stem, that big stem part has been removed. So what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to go ahead and chop it in half. So I'm just going to rest it on the florets, and I'm just going to chop it in half. And here you can see you can still see that stem part here. We're going to actually keep that stem part, but I'm just going to use a smaller knife. I'm going to use actually one of my paring knives, and I'm just going to cut around it. So as you can see, when we made that cut, everything just kind of fell apart. All these florets just kind of came apart. And from here, I don't even bother using a knife. You can kind of just snap them off like so. And make them any size you want. You can have them larger, smaller, that's up to you. So that's basically what I'm going to do with the rest of the florets. I'm going to just go ahead and rip them up. You can also use a knife, but I find it kind of fun just to rip them up with my hands. And again, with the second half, we're just going to do the same thing. We're going to cut through this so all of the florets kind of pop out. So I'll show you how to do that once again. So we're just gonna take a paring knife and just kind of cut around, and that pops all of these florets off just like so. We're gonna go ahead and break those apart. So what we've got left here are some of the stalks. I like to use everything, so I just kind of chop these things up too, and just chop them up in little cubes, about the same size as your florets. And I keep them. I like to keep them because they have a little bit of a crunch. They're not aesthetically as pretty as the florets, but they're still part of the plant, and they're going to be really tasty as well. So with broccoli, sometimes with broccoli you find that there's a lot of the stalk. So I, again, keep all of that stalk. I chop it up to be about the same size as the florets. I throw them in with the florets for soups, for roasts. So please do keep them. If you don't want to keep them, you can always save them to put them into a stock or a broth. All right, so that was how we prep cauliflower. Same thing for broccoli. It's a pretty simple process. There's no need to have to buy it pre-chopped. It's a lot less expensive if you do it yourself. Hope that was helpful. Thanks for joining us today. We're always happy to help you live happier, simpler, and smarter in your kitchen.